Hello, it's Jacob here. I'm going to hop on today and give you a bit of a tutorial on Mothership. I'm going to transcribe some of it. I'm going to hop into the second section mainly, the verse, you could say. But first, it's, still kind of early in the day and I haven't really played much. So I'm just going to warm up a little bit, practice a couple of cross-string scales because those are a feature in this piece that I'm really excited about. And then I'll actually just play some of the tune Mothership and keep going. So if you're online, say hey in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get playing. So here we go. Oh, got Echo over here joining in the fun, say getting some snacks. I'd love to hear from you. Oh, okay. So I'm going to warm up with what could be called either a G Mixolydian scale or an E Dorian scale, however you want to see it. Minor scale with a sharp 6, major scale with a sharp 4. They're the same thing. I'm going to start on the G. Give it something like this. Big stretches, really helpful. Oops. Playing a little out of order. One more time. I love those cross string scales. They sound so nice. They give me a good stretch. They keep me really engaged in the right hand because they seem to go pretty, if you look at the right hand, they seem to go, especially here, pretty straightforward. P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M, I. All right, here's where it changes. P, M, I. I think I was saying P, M, I the whole time. It should be P, I, M, P, I, M, P, I, M, and then P, M, I. G major. They've got this beautiful resonant quality. They're super nice. So I'm going to warm up with the tune a little bit and then we'll get transcribing. This is the section that I'll be playing. I'm going to play it slow first. Again, my fingers are still kind of, you can hear all the crackling in my wrists and in my fingers. This is the section that we're going to be transcribing today. I'm going to skip ahead across the intro because I just want to see this part on paper just to see what it feels like. Sounds like this. I'll go slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through that one more time. It's feeling pretty good right now. A couple of things I'd like to get down a little bit stronger. Do it a little bit quicker, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably enough finger warming up for now. It's time to get some notes on the page. This is the part I've been looking forward to. I just kind of last night was really stoked about getting this part started. I've been working on this tune for years, actually, and I've decided on a couple of sections, but recently I've reworked the entire thing. Not the entire thing. I've just kind of cut some of the sections. Last December, I released a video for it, and it just had a lot. It had a lot of riffs in it, and some of them were just completely unrelated. So I nixed a lot of those, and now I'm deciding to maybe solidify some ideas. So let's get Finale pulled up. I've already got a document started, as you can see here. Mothership, music by me. Nice little pickup measure here. Around 110 beats per measure, or per 110 beats per minute. Let's get our view set up. Is it not going to allow me to do? There we go. That's what I want. All right. So this is going to be the first 8-bar section. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm actually going to put a double bar line there because I don't want to transcribe that intro just yet. I'm going to go straight to what I would call the verse. So let's hop on over here, past that double bar line, and just get cracking. Let's just not waste any time. Oh, come on now. First things first, E5 power chord in the key of E minor here. Gotta love E minor. It's the best for what we're doing here on the guitar. 1, 2 E, and so that I'm gonna get some 16th note action going here. This is the part I've been looking forward to transcribing the most. E, F sharp, G, A. Coming on the and of B2, or the E of B2. And then we're gonna tie that over. There's the first bar of the melody. All right, I'm gonna come back and put bass notes in here in a little bit. Got to tie that over. What I'm trying to do here is create this really weird little wobbling effect with tying over the 4th beat and the 1st beat, and the 2nd beat technically. So beats 2 and 4, which are typically our bass, snare, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm leaving those empty on the melody or tying them over because I think it's got kind of a strange effect, and I really like it. So all the way up to a B. I'll make that into a rest. I think it's going to be an 8th note. Yep. Give me an 8th note there, and then 8th dotted 8th note, right? And then tie that over. Give me another B. And this is nice. Now that I have this rhythm notated, I can transfer it over pretty seamlessly. I see 2 of you watching right now. If you're there, say hey. I'd love to greet you. Because it doesn't actually give me any names of who's watching. 3 of you watching. So now I'm looking. Oh, what's going on, Howard? Welcome in. We're right here. I'm going to play D, C sharp. That's an important distinction. Because I'm kind of messing around in E Dorian here. Closed G. And then this changes bar 4 here. We're going to keep this held over for as long as we can, I think. 1, E, and at least a dotted 8th note, right? Because now layer 2 is going to take over, and we're going to get this riff that kind of keeps coming back. in all of this tune. I named it Mothership because at the time I was writing it, I was really getting back into Parliament Funkadelic. They were a huge part of my childhood, and I just wanted to write something just relentlessly funky. And so far, I think it's coming along okay. So now in layer 2, we're going to get this repeating lick that happens. Actually, let's just put down a bunch of 16th notes, and then we'll edit the notes. 1E and a 2E and a. There we go. So G, G, A, B, B. And then D, C sharp, another C sharp. I might even consider changing the key signature if I get enough C sharps in here. And then B3, and I think this might actually be just a bar of 2, right? So 1 and 3 and 3 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E 1 E and 2. Oh no. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and yep. Good. Counting and playing, my friends, it's one of the most valuable skills any musician can have, and I'm still working on it like all of us. And I actually transcribed this part wrong. So 3 A's, a C sharp, 3 E's, a C sharp, and a D. There we go. There's my C sharp. And then this comes down to A, and G for an 8th note. And we'll hold that over. I think we'll hold that over. E and 2E and 3E. Yep, so we'll hold that over for another 16th note across beat 4, making sure that beat 4 isn't hit just like over here. You'll see this tie from G to G. You'll see this tie from G to G, this tie from G to G. That's kind of a recurring thing that's happening in the melody. So why don't we bring it back to the bass as well? So G, A, B, B, D, C sharp. Oh, it's already C sharp. A, and then we can basically copy and paste at this point. Yeah. Boom. But what's going to happen now is I'm taking oops. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I hit the wrong shortcut. Save it on accident. It's kind of a Western Skies scores plus tabs. Check it out. A handful of them already started. Now Mothership can be added to the queue. It's such a habit to just hit Command S like every 5 minutes or so because I have lost so much progress. So much progress just from, my computer failing me. Anyway, back to it. Here we are. I'll just play everything up to the end of this red bar right here. We got a 4-bar phrase notated out already, and then I'll go back in after 8 bars and add some bass notes, and depending on how we're doing on time, I might even throw in the intro. Let's see how we're doing there. Oh yeah, and I kind of figure I'll teach you guys a little bit of how to play this, just kind of go over my thought process and everything. So here's where we're at right now, bar 9, all the way up to those red notes at the end. It sounds like this. Lovely little melody, and I'll come in later and add some bass notes in there. For now, I'm going to do something that's called sequencing, which that's kind of what this is. I don't know. I don't think that's what I would call it now that I'm thinking about it. But essentially, I can take all of this up. I think by a third is where I'm starting it. Oh, I'm taking it up by a fourth, actually. So that's great. I'm just going to take some technological shortcuts. I want to go up diatonically by a fourth. And let's see how accurate that is. I actually got to take this power chord down. So let's, oops, go back to layer 1 and do that. All the way down to an E chord. Howard says, man, I need to go back and brush up on theory. Never hurts, man. I am a sucker for music theory. I'm a nerd for music theory. I think it helps with this kind of thing. When it comes to solidifying our ideas and maybe solving problems. Yeah, I'm a huge sucker for music theory. It's not the end all be all. It's not the grand solution to music, but it is something that is a very helpful tool. A lot of people use music theory across lots of different contexts, and it doesn't always work. But in this case, when I'm just transcribing music written in 12-tone equal temperament, it's fine. Helps really pretty well. So let's see how well this little transposition worked. Tom Howard says, I'll stick with pencil and paper. Pencil and paper is quite straightforward. My handwriting is just really poor. My teacher in college, Dr. Noonan, had us transcribe everything by hand, which I appreciate because it improved my musical handwriting, but it, still wasn't that good. So I'm learning the tech side of things so I can keep my scores looking as clean as possible. All right, so A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. That needs to be a little bit higher, some variation. That should be a D, that should be a C sharp. Still considering changing that key signature. It's going to be B, A, B. It's going to go up from there. No tie here. We're just spelling out a nice little A triad there. Oops, that's already set. All right, so that transposition worked pretty well with the exception of this F double sharp. I don't need any of that. I'm going to take some of this out because now we've got this big cross-string scale. For those of you who are tuned in early enough on the stream, I was warming up with, you could either think of it as an E Dorian or a G Mixolydian scale mode. So now we're actually going to go backwards to use this in the song. Oh, sorry. Yeah, something like that. So I think you could probably think of that as E Dorian. I think most of this is going to be an E Dorian, which means I'm probably going to end up going back and changing the key signature to the key of D or B minor, just to get that C sharp in there and not have to worry about all these crazy accidentals. Mixolydian is awesome. It was when I was first learning the guitar, I didn't know anything about music theory, and I just went to a place called Hastings in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and bought a book. It was like this skinny and this tall, and had just all of your modes, all of your scales. It didn't really, I think it may have said what modes actually were, but really all it did was give you like chord charts and scales. And Mixolydian was always my favorite to play around with, so I totally agree with you on that. Back to it, we're going to get this scale going starting on an F sharp. No, what am I saying? A B. This part's going to be really easy to notate because all I'm going to do is just go bam, 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 until I get down to a G, and then hit up a B, and then we'll land on an E. And this is, I actually think I can copy and paste again. Oh, gotta love repetition. As our guy Adam Neely says, repetition legitimizes. Repetition legitimizes. Yep, I'm going to want all of this again. Okay. So... Yep. that transition is where we get into this. We're not going to do that today, but I'll at least get the transition down because it's not too difficult to transcribe here. So 1 and 2, got that dotted 8th figure in the bass. Let's switch over to layer 2. Get that into a 16th note all the way down to an E, and then we're going to tie that over and let it just ring out for the whole bar. This is one of my riffiest tunes, and after a year or two of playing it and even playing it live and recording it, I grew to kind of not like it for that reason, because it didn't seem very musical. And it was mostly just like one riff after another. I even got a couple comments about it, and agreed. So I, still kept a lot of the riffs in there because I really like some of them. But I think near the middle, I had one that sounded like this. And there's a whole section before that. It just gets to be really meandering, and it doesn't really connect to the broader piece, I guess. And I decided to cut that. So I think that's going to make transcribing this and listening to this much easier. So let's get back into layer 1 so I can get this beautiful E minor 7 chord lined out, or G major 7 with an A in the bass. Who knows? I'll figure that out later. Perform first, analyze second. That's always the way. Play first, analyze later. And then here's where we start arpeggiating a G major 7 chord. So I think it's gonna go like this. And I'm actually, am I out of, no, I'm not out of space. Why is it telling me I'm out of space? There we go. I'm actually gonna put a fermata on that and a ritardando. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll say poco rit. Tempo alterations, rit. And I'll actually put a little piece of text in front of that says poco, which means a little. It just means to slow down a little bit. Up to this point, you've had, I think, 16 bars of a lot of 16th notes. And that can be a little exhausting, so I want to give our listener a little bit of a break. I'm going to make that italic just to keep it consistent. Man, transcribing is one of those crazy things that just makes me feel so satisfied and a little bit manic because there's just so many things to do. All right, so now that we've got all of the notes laid for this phrase, at least the melody, I'm going to go in and add my bass notes. So on to layer 2. The bass line is pretty interesting here. So we have 1, 2. Kind of funky. I like it a lot. It's mainly lining up with the important beats of our melody. So let's get cracking on that. And then I want a B here. And once I get all of these laid down, I'll drag all of this down to the tab and show you guys how to play it. And I think that'll probably be the end for us on that part. I want a dotted 8th note there. In fact, I should probably not leave that as a rest. I'm going to put an X there later. I could even do the same thing. You know what? I am going to do the same thing on layer 1. I'll have to come back to that. And then we'll put 2 X's there. So it'll look like this to indicate a string slap. Gotta love those string slaps on beats 2 and 4. That's what all the kids are doing these days. I can say that because I'm not a kid anymore. All right. Now, B Beat 3 is going to be a C sharp, another C sharp. Here we are in that E Dorian. Gotta love it. And that C sharp is going to last for a whole beat. Love it. Nice and easy. C sharp. And then we're going to get ourselves another mute here. So let's just say we put the mute here. Oh, that's the first bar. We're done there. So let me just get some tasty little string slaps in there. So that's what this bar is going to look like. If I play it, so far so good, right? Now, we're actually going to start on the beat. Oh, finally, a note on the beat. After one bar, it's actually not that. No, we've had a couple notes on the beat so far. And then, so I think we're basically going to copy this rhythm from right here, the 16th dotted 8th figure. Howard, you said a couple of times you want to get back into music theory. And for me, I think one of the most important things that you can learn in music theory is rhythmic notation. Learning how to identify your beat and learning how to subdivide your beat accurately. It's a tricky thing to be able to do, but once you've listened to enough music, you'll start hearing, which I know you have, you'll start hearing plenty of patterns. And you can count out loud and get all of those notes down just as we're doing here. C sharp is what I wanted. Full on quarter note there. I love it. And then we get the B. Let's get those mutes put in so I don't have to come back and do that again later. Actually, I can do this. Turn them both into X's right away. So if you guys have any questions, I see 3 of you have been in here the entire time. If you have any questions about any of this, or if you want to just toss in some ideas or thoughts about what you're seeing right now, feel free. I know this is kind of a lot. This is a very dense piece. But yeah, it's still pretty fun to mess around with. Generally, I would say if you're interested in kind of playing around with this kind of idea, we're in the key of E minor. If you want to get more specific, we're not in E Dorian, but we're playing with 2 sharps. We're playing with F sharp and C sharp, which allows us to have that kind of that minor with a bright upper side to it. So here we are. And in fact, I think let's just check where we're at with time. We're 30 minutes in right now. And here we are in the eternal void of the restream. Oh, wow. It's just going to go on forever right here in the middle. What a crazy little device we've got going on here. Please allow me to get back to finale. We're at 30 minutes in. So I think I might go ahead and take this down to the tab and just kind of show you what's going on. We're going to say default fret is 3, and I think we might be pretty accurate here. Only one change so far, like that. Oh, I'm in layer 2, that's why. And then that needs to be a C sharp. That's why it is as a 3. And then we'll go up. Oops. And that into another C sharp. Again, just strongly considering changing the key signature. Howard, yes, the key signature would be 2 sharps. It would read either as B minor or D major. But because we're centering most of our music around E, That's kind of, you could say that would be our main key. But when we center around E, it gives us this really interesting dark/bright quality with that sharp 6 in the E minor. Very much Twilight Zone, as you say. Yeah, so I haven't added any slurs or anything in here, but this is what the tab is going to end up looking like. And in fact, Finale does this weird thing right here where the X's kind of overlap, and I haven't really figured out how to fix that because this is kind of an old version of the tab. But here we are. If you want to watch the tab from here, now here we are right here. Oh, that needs to be on the 4th fret. Oh, and I've got a couple of extra notes in there. An actual chord. Let's get back up to layer 2 and line that out. I forgot about that. We have a G add 9 here. One of the loveliest, easiest chords on the planet. And I'll show you how to play that right now. Oops, I don't need that one yet. Give me a second fret there. So if you are online and you're wanting to learn how to play a really beautiful chord, it only takes 2 fingers to play this guy right here. So middle finger on a G, open D, index finger on an A, open B. In this case, it sounds a little bit aggressive, which is kind of the point, but and then we have the same kind of bass line here. And in fact, I think I can basically bring this over. Yeah, verbatim. Love it. And then this should be, this is going to translate in a pretty funny way. A-A-A-D. But what I'm doing here is actually a really exciting technique that I've been using in a lot of my music recently, which is to tap an A and then play an open A. So I'm tapping an A on the 6th string and playing an open A on the 5th string. So tap, pluck the 6th string, pluck the 5th string, and it gives me these 3. It's kind of an interesting texture. I really like the sound of it. So we're going to get over here in layer 2, 5, 5, 0, open. And all that's steady. It's all sounding good. So with we're half an hour in, and we've gotten bars 9 through 17 notated. I think this is probably a good place for us to stop, or at least stop with the transcription. Now I guess what I can do is take a bit of a break from transcription and show you guys a little bit more about how to actually play this. So prepare yourselves for the void again. Oh no, the stream void. I don't know that it really makes much of a difference. Just kind of fun to watch sometimes. Stop the screen sharing. Here we are again. Thank you all so far for tuning in. There have been a few of you online this whole time. I appreciate you hopping in and, as always, supporting this work. It's a lot of fun, and it means a lot to me to share this music with you guys. So a couple of things that we can do to make this work. Right off the bat, we're starting from this section right here. First things first, you're noticing I'm not moving anywhere. I'm keeping all of my notes in one position. We'll start with the left hand. I'll just go over a couple of basics. We're barring that E5 power chord. And then we're plucking the 5th and 5th strings with your thumb and index finger. Oh, it's so weird. I've been giving Zoom lessons for a year, and it's still so weird. In the beginning there, I'm plucking E, B, and E on the 6th, 5th, and 4th string, and then I'm slurring. I'm hammering on to an F sharp on the 4th fret and a G on the 5th fret. sharp with my third finger, A with my second finger or my index finger. So this guy right here is a pull off to a G. Pinky grabs another F sharp, and then my middle finger over here will pluck a G. Now my index and middle finger will grab a G on the 6th string, an E on the 5th string, and I'll do a hammer on pull off, compound slow there. Now here I am in A on the A5 power chord. Similar kind of motion going from 2 to 4 to 5 on an E, F sharp, and G. Open B. Oh man, I've never explained this before. Open B to an A, and then I'm gonna bar that 2nd fret again. So I have an A and a C sharp. I'm gonna put my middle finger on a C, or on a D, excuse me. My bass note there is played with the thumb on a D. So I get a D and a 2 Ds, excuse me. An A with the bar, and then I'm grabbing a G with my pinky. And then there's that G9 chord. Again. And every now and again, I'll just add in that nice little 5th fret harmonic rake. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But yeah, that's kind of what I got for you guys today. Last night I was feeling really inspired to get this tune on paper to see what it looks like, and so far I'm really liking it, and I'm happy you guys joined in for the fun. I'll try to be doing this at least once a week. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times. And as you saw a little bit ago, I've got a nice solid list of tunes that have been started from Western Skies. So Lettered Streets might be next, or I might do another round of Mothership. We haven't done the intro yet. The intro is maybe the newest and most exciting part. I'll just play that for you guys to give you a preview. I think it's going to be a little messy. I just wrote this a couple of days ago, but yeah. Oh my goodness, you guys. Missed that harmonic, but then it goes right into that section, right? So next time we do this, maybe I'll just get in on that intro. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep in touch, and I'll see you guys again soon. Oh, have a great weekend. All that good stuff.